Hi, my name is Joshua Chinwe, aka Joshtalks, and you're welcome to Value Based. And as you know, every week on this show, we bring somebody important, somebody of value to talk to us, to inspire us, to motivate, to educate us. Today, we have a teen coach. I hope I'm right.
Yes, you are.
Miss Mrs. Joyce Akubueze. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
All
That was a good shot. You gave my surname.
All right, so tell us about yourself.
Okay, my name is Joyce Akubueze. I am a teen coach and a writer. I'm also a mother and a wife. I actually have four grown children, three young adults and one teenager.
Oh,
Okay, I'm from Abia State, and I think that's it.
okay, if mothers look like this, yeah, we should just target. All right, now tell us about 316.
Oh, wow. Is not this. It's not as if this is the first time somebody is saying tell us about 316. But each time somebody says tell us about 316, I start blushing all over again, because 316 is my very precious baby, and 316 is who I am, is what I am, is what I do, is what I breathe, is what I talk, it's what I give. That's 316. 316 is all about young people and teenagers specifically. What 316 does is find teenagers, you know, who are looking for direction, who are eager to find out who they are, why they are here, and what they can do or be. And then we come in through educating them, equipping them with the right set of skills and values that would help them achieve what they have in mind.
Okay, so why did you start 316? Or how? Both why, how did you start it?
I'll start with the why. Why I started 316 was just as a sort of finesse to what I was already doing. I was doing it without a name. Like I said, it's who I've been as long as I can remember as an adult. I've always loved working with teenagers, young persons. So if I want to say why I started 316, I'll be talking about myself at the same time, because my teenage experiences, you know, what happened to me while I was growing, starting from age 12, 13, the accumulation of my experiences made me want to stand in the gap for teenagers, because I realized they also are facing the same things I faced, and excuse me. So when I became a young adult in my 20s, of course, I was already married by then. I was married when I was 18 and a half.
Wow.
So that's a story for another day. But I came to realize that these people are going to be facing the same thing I faced growing up. Some of them worse, some of them exactly the same experiences. And just like I didn't have anyone to turn to, so many of them wouldn't have anyone to turn to. So I felt the best way to be is to give back with my wealth of experiences from things I've been through, and actually came out from, which made me stronger and wiser. I thought, okay, there's no point allowing every other person to go through those things. We're not all as strong as each other. So I felt they needed someone to be in that space for them.
Okay, so
Yes.
how did you start?
Okay, I started, from realizing at the early part of my marriage that I had plenty time on my hands. I wasn't working back then. So, and then I had these guys all over, the place, in the building where I was staying, and, all around. So I started letting them come into my house. We would talk. You know, they found it easy to relate with me because I don't know how it happened. I was always speaking their language, you know, being free, you know, I let them be themselves around me. So we got talking, and as the years went on, it was becoming intense. Of course, that's who I've always been, you know, coming from my teenage period. I knew I was going to grow up to stand in the gap for other teenagers.
Okay. Now, what challenges do teenagers face?
Teenagers face a whole lot of challenges. I think it's the hardest part of life. It's the hardest area, you know, the phase. Once you get out of teenagehood in one piece, then you're on your way to becoming a responsible adult.
Yes.
So, but I would say the most challenging thing about being a teenager is finding out who you are. M- Every teenager first comes up feeling confused. They don't know who they are. This is primary. It doesn't matter. It's not about who your father is. It's not about you. They still want to be able to define themselves, you know, detach themselves from their circumstances and their family background and all of that and say, this is who I am. So this is a primary challenge. And another major, big time challenge that teenagers have is peer pressure, because everything for them has to be about belonging, about being accepted. So they go about looking for acceptance, validation, and all of that. So, and most times they find it in the wrong places.
So how do they get to overcome these, both the peer pressure, because some parents will be watching and their kids are also having those same. How do they get to overcome those stuff?
Yeah, well, I'll give kudos to some parents who actually understand parenting teenagers, because it's a whole different ball game. Parenting toddlers is different from parenting teenagers. It's not everybody that can do that successfully. But there are parents who understand that. I give them the kudos. But in a case where this teenager doesn't have such parents, you know, that's where the job of a coach or a mentor starts, you know. It's important that a teenager begins to find the right person, the right ears to talk to, because they always want to talk. Even though they appear like they don't want to talk, they always want to talk, but it's finding the right person that is the problem. So how they actually come out of this is, one, finding the right person to talk to. Number two is, you know, following the right people. Of course, it starts from finding the right person to talk to. The person begins to give direction and guidance, and it goes from there. It's about deciding to find someone that will help you. Yes.
So you said finding the right person to talk to. Like,
Yeah.
it's easy for them to talk to you. You look like us. So it's easy for us to relate to you. All right, now for everybody watching, what last advice can you give to maybe the teenagers that will watch this video, or their parents, or their elder ones, just anybody that has somebody that is within teenage age related to them?
Okay, I'll start with the parents.
Okay.
Okay, it's important that if you have a teenager, first thing is, if you don't know how, go and learn how. But you must let them finish whenever they start talking. Don't ever interrupt them, because it's not every time that they're ready to really go all the way. You listen to them, don't cut them in between when they are talking. Leave them space to be themselves. They are not an extension of you. They are a complete entity. They have likes and dislikes. They cannot exist on your own likes and dislikes. This is just to the parents. Then to every teenager out there, you know you are more than what you see in the mirror. I tell you every other time, if you believe, then you're already on your way to achieving whatever it is that is positive, not negative, that is in your mind, and you feel that you can achieve it, you're already on your way. The most important thing is knowing that the only person that can stop you is yourself and not any other person. It's important that you know that you are your only competition.
All right. So for everybody that is watching that has a teenage person or a teenager, follow her, Joyce Akubueze Chinwe on Facebook. I hope I got it.
Akubueze Chinwe Joyce
Okay, so I said it
on
Facebook
Facebook, and 316 Initiative on IG.
Okay, follow them. To come here next week, like this video, share it. I'm Joshua Channel, aka Joshtalks, and this is still value based.